What is up, everybody? Today we're looking at 2FA keys, or OTP keys, and we're looking at a simple script for how to do it in Bash. A lot of times you might be developing and we want to test out your 2FA feature, but maybe you don't want to go back and forth between your phone and your computer. We're just doing a simple way to do this. Maybe I want to recommend having it on your computer, because I guess if your computer gets stolen and they need to log into the website, they can access this information here. With that said, there are ways of also decrypting it encrypting it along with encrypting things on your computer. In the future video, I'm planning on showing a password manager that's written mostly in Bash, and some of the features in that could be added to this to make this more safe. But this tool that we're actually using is going to be a wrapper for this other tool called OAuth tool, and OAuth tool is actually what's doing the generation of the key. So we'll just do OAuth tool. It's going to be TTO-TP and -B, and we'll pass in a key. I have this example one right here, and this example one, it's going to generate the key when I run it. So now it's right there. So say you're on a website, you're going to log in, it wants your 2FA, you've already scanned a QR code that represents this key on your phone, it's going to generate this code. So it's as simple as that. But you don't want to have to memorize this code every single time if you're handling this. So we're going to write a Bash script that's going to basically just organize this a little bit for us. We'll hop into Nano. I'm going to copy and paste some code that I already have written. I haven't fully decided if fully writing out code or copying paste code or just showing code verbatim is the best idea. I don't really know what you guys prefer, but in this example we're just going to be writing up copying and pasting some code. So the features that we want are for adding a key, for listing keys that are generated, for generating listing all the keys we have in our list, and for generating a code from a key, and also a help, so it just lists out the information. And so that's what we're going to do right here. I'm going to paste that in. And this usage function is basically just saying A is for adding a key. You pass in a name and you pass in the key. View is going to list all your keys. Generate's going to generate a code, and then H is for help. And let's make sure, just to say we're doing Bash. And we're going to save all of our keys into a file. And I guess the file is just going to be key file. And if you want it in your home, you can do do home. For my example project, we're just going to have it right here. So it's just called TFA keys. And like I mentioned in the future in the password video, I'm going to show a good way to encrypt this, so every time it opens, you can open and close the file and re-encrypt it so no one can actually read it afterwards. And let's make sure that someone actually is trying to do something. Pasting the wrong thing. So we're just making sure that an argument's actually being passed. I'm not going to bother leaving it in my comments. And we'll have this case switch that's just going to check for each one of these things and run a function that's for each one. So it's as simple as that. If you're not super familiar with Bash, this might be a little bit hard to understand. But basically, the case switch opens here, it goes down here, the exec, and it takes in the first argument. We're just checking if it's -a or add, and we're checking all of these. And if it's anything else, the wildcard is just going to call the usage function. So now that's the first argument, but here we have the second and third argument. As you can see, that's what this name and key would be. So we're going to pass in these other arguments to these other functions. It's actually, Bash just makes it so much simpler compared to you wanting to write this in Python or anything else like that. It's just very clean and straightforward. So let's have these functions. Basically, let's do the add key function. The add key takes in a name and the key. So it's just set name and key to the first and second argument. It's not the first and second command line argument. It's the first and second argument to this add key function call. And we're going to basically just save the name and the key to this key file. And we're just going to say it was added successfully. Now let's go ahead and view the keys as well. In viewing the keys, we're just checking for this file, and we'll just print out the file if it exists. And now the one last step is actually just for generating the code, which is basically just the wrapper of what I was saying. This is the actual tool right here, but we're just going to look for that file. We're also just checking for it to exist again, and then we're just grepping in that file to get the key based on the name. And then we're also checking it to make sure that key actually exists. And if it does exist, we're generating the code and we're printing the code out. It's as simple as that. So now let's go ahead and add a key. Oh, let's actually make it executable. Let's add a key. So if we do H, it's going to say what to do. We'll do -A, and let's call this test, and let's pass in this key that we have up here. Press enter. Key was added successfully for test. So we can see this file is generated, and we can also just do right here, we can do -V, and it's going to list the contents of that file. So now let's actually test the code out. And maybe to make sure that we believe it, we'll say test. And I'm going to have another tool that I have here on the side, and we're going to actually test out. Let's make sure I'm looking at the right key. So unless the time changes any second now, oh, that is what I'm expecting the key to be. And there, it's a match. So if you were to verify this on whatever server, whatever computer or login that you're trying to get into, this code is going to work correctly. On this side, I ran another tool for doing 2FA. It wasn't the exact same tool. As we can see, they are able to compare with each other. In the future, I guess as I mentioned, I'm going to make a video showing how to do some encryption, and you're going to be able to encrypt this file because maybe you don't want people to be able to view the contents of your 2FA file. But that's just a video for the future. Hopefully you guys found this useful. Hopefully this video is enjoyable as well. Let me know if you like this style of coding where I just copy and paste it. I don't know if that's the best way to do this. Thanks again. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below, and see you guys again next time. Bye.